Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into a legendary match that's honestly like a time capsule of pure footballing perfection. We're heading back to Old Trafford for a Manchester United versus Aston Villa clash that perfectly showcased a transcendent talent at the absolute peak of his powers. If you want to understand how a player transitions from being a global star to an absolute galactic obsession, this is the match to study.
So, what does it actually take to make the biggest club in the world, in this case, Real Madrid, decide they absolutely must have you, regardless of the price tag? Well, we're going to deconstruct exactly what it takes to catch the eye of a global giant by looking at this specific, era-defining performance from Cristiano Ronaldo. Because it isn't just about scoring a goal, it's about how you dictate the entire geometry and emotion of a match.
Section Setting the Stage and the Impudent Flick. All right, let's start with the immediate spark. Going into this match, Cristiano Ronaldo was just completely unplayable. United was chasing a 10th Premier League title, so they really had zero margin for error. And just 17 minutes in, he finds the back of the net, hitting a staggering 35 goals for the season. I mean, just pause and think about that number for a second. We're talking about a winger, playing in the toughest league in the world, hitting 35 goals with weeks still left on the calendar. That kind of output literally breaks defensive game plans.
But it wasn't just that he scored, it's how he scored. The commentators calling the game were left in pure disbelief, asking, "Can you stop this man? Look at the quickness of thought." Ronaldo scored with this incredibly impudent back-heel flick right inside a jam-packed penalty box. The ball drops to him, and while everyone else is taking a breath to figure out what's going on, he's already made his move. It caught everyone, defenders, the goalkeeper, the fans, completely by surprise. Now, the mechanics of this moment go way beyond just getting a lucky bounce. It was all about lightning-fast feet combined with a totally cheeky nutmeg on Villa defender Martin Laursen. The sheer quickness of thought and feet to execute a nutmeg and react inside the box when literally no one else did is just breathtaking. You see, this processing speed, that's what separates good players from historic ones. He saw the geometry of the goal, the gap between the defender's legs, and pulled off a back heel in a fraction of a second.
Section A Ruthless Attacking Masterclass.
To truly grasp a player's value to a massive club like Real Madrid, we have to look past the individual highlight reel and see how their presence unlocks the rest of the team. Because this match wasn't just the Cristiano Ronaldo show. His quickness, his gravity on the pitch, it catalyzed a devastating attacking spread for the whole squad. After he got the ball rolling in the 17th minute, the floodgates opened. Carlos Tevez, who had been stuck in a really frustrating 7-match goal drought, finally found the back of the net with a brilliant strike. And Wayne Rooney was absolutely unleashed, scoring a spectacular brace. Ronaldo's presence basically forced the defense into panic mode, which created absolute oceans of space for his world-class teammates to exploit. We see some incredible link-up play throughout this entire match, beautifully illustrated by the build-up to Tevez's goal. It was this sequence of pure fluidity. Veterans Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs combined seamlessly to feed Tevez for his clinical finish. And it's this collective movement, this passing rhythm, that turns a group of talented individuals into an unstoppable machine. Ronaldo provided the gravity, sure, but the foundation was built on this absolutely flawless midfield coordination. And sometimes even accidents turn into art. During one of Rooney's magnificent goals, Ronaldo played a wild, sweeping flick. As the commentator noted with a laugh, "I think this was meant for Patrice Evra." The ball probably came off the wet surface a bit weirdly, sweeping away from the intended fullback. But honestly, it didn't matter. Wayne Rooney instinctively read the space, adjusted his run, and smashed it home. That's exactly what happens when an attacking unit operates on the exact same wavelength. Even a mislaid pass turns into a deadly assist. This relentless, dynamic attack pushed Manchester United's goal tally to 67 for the season at that point. To put that number into perspective, it put them a full 12 goals ahead of their fierce rivals, Chelsea. They weren't just winning games, they were utterly outscoring the competition, driven by a forward line that was essentially playing a different sport than everyone else.
Section Utterly Dismantling Aston Villa.
Now, the gap in extra class on the pitch was just glaring. Aston Villa actually created some decent opportunities in the second half, but they just couldn't capitalize. Gabriel Agban-Longmore missed the target entirely from a golden chance, something the commentators quite rightly described as an absolute crime at this level of football. John Carew had his moments too, but on the flip side, Manchester United was completely clinical. They ruthlessly punished every single mistake Villa made. If you gave United an inch, they took a mile, and a goal for sure. So the really crucial point to take away from this is what those elite scouts sitting up in the stands, maybe representatives from Real Madrid or Roma, were actually taking notes on. They aren't just looking for goals. They're looking for this exact combination: blistering, rapid decision-making, cohesive and devastating attacking synergy, and flawless execution backed by unshakable defensive solidity. It's the complete package that signals a player and a team of historic pedigree. The pure dominance of this squad is reflected perfectly in the final scoreline, 4-0. Four magnificent goals that utterly dismantled Aston Villa. It wasn't just a win, it was this overwhelming performance where United was essentially just toying with the opposition by the end of the 90 minutes. And here's some crucial context for you. This 4-0 thrashing wasn't some isolated event. It actually marked Manchester United's 6th consecutive league victory. Pulling this off during a tense title run-in, with absolutely no room for error and injuries starting to mount up, well, it shows an unbelievable level of psychological resilience and sustained excellence.
In a massive testament to their complete tactical balance, this wasn't just a frantic shootout. This avalanche of goals also secured their 20th clean sheet of the league campaign. 20 clean sheets. It proves that while Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez were dominating all the headlines with their flicks and finishes, the foundation of this team was built on absolute defensive iron. Which brings us to our final takeaway. When you look at how one player's impudent genius perfectly catalyzed a flawless, devastating team performance, it leaves us with one provocative thought. When a talent reaches this level, where they're scoring 35 goals by early spring, orchestrating attacks with lightning-fast thought, and dismantling Premier League defenses just for fun, how long could Manchester United realistically hold on to him? Was a record-breaking move to Real Madrid not just a possibility, but an absolute inevitability? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking for the brilliance in the details.